Hi everyone. So I'm a you can say a random tennis fan, USTA 4.0 player, and I've been associated with tennis as a sport since I would say 94, 95. And growing up in India, the main surface I played on was grass, and the first player I idolized was Jim Courier, the big forehand hitting American with a very tough fitness regime. He won, I think, back-to-back Australian Opens and back-to-back French Opens. And I grew up on a heavy dose of American tennis, especially Jim Courier, Andre Agassi, Pete Sampras, and many others during that time, like Stefan Edberg and many others like Steffi Graf and Arantxa Sanchez Vicario that I used to follow. So that's about me. And the reason I'm starting this podcast is I love tennis. My life revolves around it. I run my company's tennis league. I run my own tournament in the community. It's a very small tournament, but tennis is something which has been a part of my life for a very long time through thick and thin. And I just thought of, putting my thoughts out there to connect with like-minded people and maybe just hear comments on this podcast on some of the topics I'm going to cover. I'll keep it short. So that's about me. So one of the first recordings I want to cover is this topic of the former coach of Roger Federer, Severin Luthi from Switzerland, joining the current team of Holger Rune, the Great Dane. I shouldn't call him Great Dane because that is reserved for Caroline Wozniacki. So, but it's interesting because Rune is a very exciting player on the men's tour. Young guy, as you can see in the picture, he already joined forces with another powerhouse of tennis, and as a coach as well, six-time Grand Slam Open champion, and the coach of Novak Djokovic for 6 years, Boris Becker. So he added Boris Becker a few months ago to his team, and he had some good results. Got the fire back in his belly in the later part of the year, and recently he added Severin Luthi, which I think is a very good addition to Team Rune because Severin Luthi will bring years and years of experience because he has been part of Federer's team for pretty much the entire career of Roger Federer. So I saw him in Cincinnati 2012. I didn't talk to him, but he always comes across as a very even-minded, calm person. So I think he would balance the intensity of Boris Becker and keep Rune on his toes. Um, but I have high hopes from Holger Rune because he has no fear of even Novak Djokovic. He's psychologically very strong, and I think he's a very hard worker. And in a part of the slide, as you can see, I've put his head-to-head records against Novak Djokovic, who he has played 5 times and beaten him twice. He has a winning head-to-head record against Yannick Sinner, and he's taken a match off Carlos Alcaraz as well. So I think this is a very good addition to Team Rune. So do leave me a comment and let me know how you read the situation and what you think it's going to be like for Rune going forward. So another topic I'm interested in covering today is I would call it the rise and rise of Coco Gauff. What a fantastic U.S. Open run she had, and uh, just a very good head on the shoulders of a young player, very mature, amazing athlete, and just the intensity of not just adjusting her game, even when during her US Open run, everybody was talking about her forehand, but the way she turned the match from a losing position against the big Belarusian Aina Sabalenka and ended up clinching the title was pretty astonishing for me. And I really hope she keeps the fire in the belly going forward. And I do hope she doesn't go the way of one-hit wonders like Ostapenko or Sloane Stephens or um, what was the young American who won the US Open, Sophia Kenin. So hopefully she's not a one-hit wonder, and I don't think she would be. But we never know, right? Like there's so much spotlight and big money and everything, so it has derailed many people like Emma Raducanu and so many others. Uh, but I think I'm curious on what you guys all think about the future for Coco Gauff, especially the results that I posted here right after the US Open victory. I'm always very curious on how the players react after winning their first slam. And in the case of Coco Gauff, she had a pretty decent run at the China Open. She lost in the semifinals to Iga Swiatek, who she didn't face in the US Open. But even in the WTA finals, which was very rightfully criticized for being the event's disaster, I think she did okay. She lost a couple of matches, but it's the end of the year. So I'm curious what you all think is going to be the future of Coco Gauff in 2024. Let me know in the comments if you think, or how many Grand Slams you think she's going to win, and what the future trajectory of her career would be uh, under the support and guidance of her new coach Brad Gilbert, who I think has made immediate impact. He's one of the legendary coaches of tennis, from guiding Roddick to his title and world number one, and bringing Agassi back from sheer oblivion back to winning Grand Slam. So it'll be interesting. So I'm curious what you all think about it. Thank you. So the third topic I wanted to cover was this tweet war going on between the German Boris Becker and Nick Kyrgios, the Aussie. I particularly found it very astonishing that Nick Kyrgios has had the gall to question the talent of people like Pete Sampras and Boris Becker, and saying that the current players like Novak Djokovic and others would destroy them and eat them for lunch and dinner. Whatever he said, I don't even want to quote him because it was pretty idiotic the way he was comparing it, without knowing the deep history of the evolution of tennis, the evolution of racket technology, the evolution of the surfaces. The surface that Boris Becker, Pete Sampras used to play and has been watered down and slowed down so much that it has given the rise of baseline players. When you look at the volleys of Stefan Edberg, Michael Steek, Patrick Rafter, Tim Henman, Pete Sampras, all those people, even going back to John McEnroe, what they could do with a wooden racket and not even the technology that Nick Kyrgios has access to, it made it even more idiotic for me to even, like, read his tweets, because it was just nonsensical for me as a tennis fan of how he was mocking the legends. Um, it's pretty shameful for a tennis athlete to be doing that, and I think Boris Becker did good in showing him the mirror and then walking away from it, because we all know that arguing with an idiot is like mud wrestling with a pig. Although the pig is having a lot of fun, you're getting all the mud all over you. So kudos to Boris to keep his calm and just move on. And but yeah, I grew up watching Jim Courier and Pete Sampras, and a lot of the greatest matches, even from my memory right now, were those big matches, especially one in Hamburg final between Becker and Sampras, and the speed of the hitting power on those fast indoor courts is not even comparable to how slowed down the modern surface is. So yes, we should give respect to our ancestors, especially learn from Roger Federer, especially the way he set up the Laver Cup, in which he honored the legends of the game like Rod Laver and Borg and McEnroe, and even celebrates the youngsters, right? So you're looking forward while never forgetting your past. So I hope Nick Kyrgios learns from it too. But I'm curious what you all think about this stupid tweet war and Nick Kyrgios's attempt at staying relevant while being inactive from the game. Thank you.